To learn more about this, we will be joined by VOA journalist Vina Mubtadi from the U.S. capital, Washington, D.C. Hello, Vina.
Hello and good afternoon, Aisha.
Good afternoon to you too, or maybe it's in the morning now there.
That's right. It's early morning in Washington, D.C.
Okay, hope you are well. And let's talk about the young people from Bandung, West Java, that is now on a one-month cultural mission in the United States. Can you tell us more about these young people?
Right. Aisha, the group is called Muhibah Angklung, and the group members are students and alumni from more than a dozen high schools across Bandung, West Java. And though their schools may be different, but they are bound by the same interests, which is angklung, of course, a musical instrument native to Indonesia. The group's coordinator, Maulana M. Shuhada, calls themselves as young people who love to play angklung and play angklung with love. Now, the group has been around since 2015, 5 years after UNESCO recognized the musical instrument as world's cultural heritage. Since then, the group has been scouting talents, looking for young people who can sing, dance, and are interested in promoting Indonesian arts and culture. These talented women and men have performed in Europe and Australia, and they are currently here in the United States for the first time. Actually, the group had planned to come here earlier in 2020, but due to the coronavirus pandemic, the trip had to be postponed and was finally finalized this year, Aisha.
As we can see from the video, they were performing in the Times Square. Am I right?
Yes, correct. And not only Times Square, actually, they also performed in Washington, D.C., as we saw from your report earlier. And the response from the American public has been overwhelmingly positive. So I attended the performance in Washington, D.C. It was held at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Asian Art. And it was done in collaboration with the Embassy of Indonesia in Washington, D.C. It was held at an outdoor plaza of the museum, which is a very popular destination for tourists, especially in the summer months. So as you can see, previously there were a lot of people there, and then the couple of days later, couple of days earlier, they were in New York, as you can see on the screen. They performed in the middle of Times Square, a very famous landmark in the city. They called the performance a flash mob, where they performed surrounded by passersby. And of course, their performance caught the attention of many people there. I mean, it's not every day that New Yorkers and tourists get to see such beautiful display of Indonesian arts and cultures, right? So it was kind of special. We spoke to a New Yorker named Tanya, and she said it was a great experience for her and that everything was wonderful, especially in a city like New York, where, it's so very diverse, it's a melting pot. So the audience loved it. And Maulana, the group coordinator, did not expect that their group could perform there, and they are very happy, they said. And the Indonesian consulate in New York, who was also there, they hoped that the performance could promote Indonesia and make people who watched it want to come and visit the country, Aisha.
Okay, and the team is also invited to 2 major festivals later this month. Can you tell us what are those?
Yes, in fact, the festivals are actually the main reasons why the group is here in the country. So they will participate in 2 international folklore festivals, namely Magic Valley Folk Festival in Burley, Idaho, and also World Folk Fest in Springville, Utah, later this month. The World Folk Fest, the one in Utah, is actually the longest running folk dance festival in the Western U.S. And cultural dance groups, hundreds of people from around the world, they are going to share their traditions and heritage, through the art of folk dance. It will be a week of live performances, traditional costumes, music, global foods, and much more. Think of it as the Coachella of folk festival, of folk tradition. And the group says that the selection, to be invited in the event is very, very hard. They say that of the 84 teams from various countries that signed up for the fest, only 8 countries were accepted and invited, and they are one of them. Other teams will come from Spain, France, Poland, Romania, and the US, and also Estonia. So today, on July 13, the Muhibah Angklung team is set to perform at the Field Museum in Chicago, Illinois. And then from there, they're going to make their way to Idaho to attend the Magic Valley Folk Festival. So it will be a long road trip to those states. It will be a long journey, and then they will end their trip in California. Back to you, Aisha.
That is very good to hear, to be honest, and we are very happy that those talented young people are bringing Indonesian cultural heritage. So thank you again, Vina, for joining us today, and stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Aisha.